Okay, let's go ahead and get cracking. Again, my name is Josh Asbury. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Infinity Software Solutions. Joining us on today's webinar is our Forrest Wheeler, who's our account manager here, and also Ryan Rogers from TextLocate. So today we will be talking about TextLocate and the BrokerPro integration with TextLocate and how BrokerPro customers can take advantage of all the things with this fabulous integration. So please ask questions in the Q&A, and I will go ahead and hand the reins over to Ryan to tell us a bit about TextLocate and to educate us on all the things. So Ryan, over to you.
Yeah, well, thanks, Josh. Obviously, really appreciate having the opportunity to chat and share more about TextLocate. Number one, getting connected where it connects directly with your system makes it fantastic. So I know this has been a long time coming from, I can't remember when we first got disconnected. Forrest, you may remember the time frame, but it's been a while, and now we're kind of, as we make enhancements, you guys are adding those to the API. But it's always been a vision from my perspective on TextLocate, to have both the dashboard. So if you didn't have a TMS or something, you'd have the option, but having the full API that connects, and with you guys integrating that direct, has been really fantastic. We're hearing a lot of customers that log in through the TMS. That way they don't have to go to another website, so it's obviously having that right inside the system makes it super, super nice. So really appreciate you having me on to share more about it.
Well, thanks, Ryan. And just so everybody on the call understands, we have many integrations within BrokerPro, but the TextLocate integration is really one of the tightest coupled integrations that we have, and we are continuing to make significant investments into trying to keep up with those guys. You're doing a massive amount of development, and we're trying to incorporate those features as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it's been really good. So having the ability to go into like all of our core functions between the chat and the image and the location piece, all right there inside the system. So in the fact that, as you mentioned, like tightly integrated. Last time we looked at, I mean, Forrest, you would know, what does it take? Just a couple of minutes to really just get the system paired up and connected? It's super fast.
Yeah, maybe a couple of minutes max.
And that's the beauty of it, is to make it so it's super easy and very, very simple to have that connection in there. And so I think, just to give you a little background on TextLocate, it's a little over 3 years ago that we started TextLocate, me and my co-founders, on some tech developers. And the idea was really about, like, how do we just simplify communication with drivers? So freight brokers are out there every day that are trying to, actively communicate with drivers, and we're doing that traditional via phone calls. A lot of that goes unanswered. So you have a lot of those phone calls that drivers don't pick up on, they don't answer, you're trying to call back, you're trying to find out details. So the vision for TextLocate was to allow that to be all via text message. So if you're not familiar with TextLocate, obviously love to go, share a full demo with you guys anytime, but just go to textlocate.com to learn more and hear about kind of what we're doing differently. But the idea is to do it all via text. That way the driver doesn't have to log in. They don't have to have a password, username, all of those things that they get frustrated with. And the fact that with text, you can be very clear with your information. So as we started on the location services where, hey, there's apps in the marketplace and they're really good products, but sometimes drivers either have trouble logging in, or they get frustrated, or they don't want to be tracked. So it's kind of attacking that non-compliant problem that we saw. And so you can send over just a simple little link over via TextLocate. So you just text it over straight to their phone. They click a link and update their location. They're able to give their current lat long position. So think of it like a digital check call, like a one-time digital check call. You can have those scheduled, and that's all inside of the system too, right directly from the TMS. You'll be able to do that as well. And then from there, the cool thing is we started evolving in. What we saw is, by making these location requests, we opened up this direct channel with the driver. So now what the driver really loved is the ability to communicate back and forth, very simple, straightforward. So instead of that driver having to remember the load ID and remember the phone number and the rep they talked to, Because a lot of times, as you know, truck drivers, they don't have, like in my case, I've got my laptop here, I've got my flat screen here, I've got my iPhone, and I've got a notepad, and they don't have that. A lot of times they have just like those little tiny notepads to make a note for each load they're hauling. So referencing back to that is a little bit more difficult, where if we engage via text, then all of a sudden they are able to respond back. Very simple, very straightforward. So it makes it as a really nice touch. And I think to demonstrate a lot of this stuff, I think would be really good that we were going to talk about with Forrest. Do you want to kind of pull up your screen and let's share a little interaction back and forth? I know we were going to show, I mean, that's the beauty of the product, is being able to text back and forth, and we can kind of, he can text me, we can respond back, so you can kind of see how this product really works. Does that make sense? All right.
Yeah, there we go. You should
Or
start seeing my screen now. So I got the load set up inside the system here, and say I have you plugged in as a driver, and say I have your cell phone on here right now. So
where am I
show you-
going though, Forrest? Where you putting me? Like where's my route to?
Say right now you're picking up in Chattanooga.
Oh,
say
nice.
I got you picking up at 12:30, but I'm going to move that back some, so that way we're not sitting here wasting time. I'm going to put you at pick up at 12:11.
Nice.
I'm going to put you delivering in Nashville, Tennessee at 5 o'clock, and kind
So
of
just
straight the time here.
Yeah, I should be able to make that one pretty good. Get to cruise right over Mont Eagle.
Yep. And
This would
so,
be nice.
show you guys how simplified this is within the system. So to start tracking on the load, it's really just as simple as going to the check call tab here and hitting add text locate tracking. And you can see here, it already has the driver's name and driver's cell phone information directly pulled from the load. And you can save this within the database as well, so you don't need to remember, driver's cell phone numbers directly through here. And
This is hold on a second. This is the beauty of the product, is like having that tight integration. Because if you come over to our dashboard, you could upload a file with multiple fields, or a lot of people are manually keying it in. But with the integration, since it's already has the driver phone number, it's already looking to that field and looking at that data. So that makes saves you time and effort, and especially if you like accidentally miss key or something like that. So this is super cool to have it already here.
For sure. And then we give you 3 different options to, you can either customize your message out, you can text over a confirmation, or you can just do the initial welcome message that will house the link from TextLocate through here. We also have a quad hours from and quad hours until, so you can default this inside the integration settings. I just have mine set up as 12 to 6, that way we're not bothering drivers when they're asleep. And then you can also update the tracking interval and hours directly from here as well if you need to. But it's just as simple as hit and save here, and you'll get that notification. Let me switch this 12:12 though, since it's 1 minute forward. So you can see here on the load now, it says that the text locate tracking has started. I could hit stop if I wanted to stop it here, but I'm going to give it a second. That way Ryan can see the message and he'll be able to start the tracking.
Yeah, and remember, again, I want to stress the fact of the ease of it. You're not having to ask the driver to download an app. You can do things like scheduled and follow-ups. You can also, those quiet hours are really nice. We heard feedback there where the drivers don't want to get text messages at 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., which they know, we know they can put it on Do Not Disturb, but if you think about it, like the driver, if they forget to do that and they're resting during those rest periods. So what's really neat, and again, because we're using this literally in real time, so the message we got came across just right here on my phone, super easy. In this case, it happens to be BrokerPro Logistics is who I'm hauling this load for today. And it says, hey, please click the following link for a one-time location update. So I click the link, and then now it's just easy. It pops up and says, hey, we just need to know your location. So I've provided my location back, and then now here working from the house today, now we've got the prompts. And what's cool about it is it's at pickup, in transit, or delivery. So now we can actually share this back, even with status updates. And the cool thing about it is we're trying to think more like drivers. So as you can see, the buttons are pretty big. So we're thinking like a driver hits it with their thumb or index finger. So I can sit here to hit add pickup. And then the cool thing about it is we have auto responders that can say, hey, thanks for arriving at pickup. Let us know when you get loaded. So we're getting the system to start engaging with the drivers. That way your reps don't have to do all the work on there. They can actually, the system can start the engagement process. And then as the driver replies back, now, so I'm going to say in here, let's see, in and out times. So you can easily provide updated in and out times through the system. So I can do that. Let me get that real quick. So it makes it where the driver doesn't have to, I can say, okay, well, let's see here, 1:30. And then let's act like I've already got in and out pretty fast. So I can come in here and joggle that. And then the cool thing is, so provided those, being able to provide that, so you'll have that available in the system, makes it super easy and very straightforward to be able to provide that. So as you can see here on the screen, it's automatically telling you that. Again, the simplistic view is the approach we like to use with truck drivers. Like this was non-invasive. You didn't have to call them, so you could have this running automatically. So if you're a broker in the day, in your job every day, and you're trying to work through the process and you're trying to remember all these touch points you need to do, you can have it all simple here. And then Forrest, you want to do just like a little random two-way chat? I think we got that option we can do too, right?
So we can do that as well. Say it happens.
Go ahead and show this though. I'm sorry, I overstepped. Show the map if you want to.
No, so you're fine. You're
Cool.
fine. It's fine. We'll go back to it here in a second. So as far as kind of the communication goes from within BrokerPro, you'll notice on the load tab, we have a TextLocate button here. And so when the driver responds back, or if you have new communication, this will turn orange for you. You can also see this displayed on the load list as well. But if I needed to, I could just send over a custom message. I could also include the ping on this message as well if I need to, if I want to get a ping update.
And again, the beauty of it is you're texting from the computer. You're texting from inside BrokerPro. You're right here texting and sending that information out. So you're not having to do it on your phone where it's small. It's all, or small print, small read. You're trying to go over and do those things. You can do it straight from, from your system. And all this, the cool thing is all this communication is flowing back into the system. So you don't have to worry about if somebody's texting from their personal phone and then somebody leaves and they go to they go home at night, and you have somebody second shift, hey, what was said to that driver, where are we on follow-ups? All that data is there. So I just provided a simple little in transit. And then the cool thing, again, we had an autoresponder pop back and says, hey, thanks for the update. If you have any questions or run into any delays, please reply. So that is cool too, because then you're telling the driver, number one, you're saying thank you, which drivers probably don't get enough thank yous in the day. You're saying thanks for doing this. Let us know if you experience any issues. So if I did run into an issue, I just reply back, hey, let's say if I want to put stuck in, let's see. I can go in here and reply back, running. So I can just reply back and give an update if there was anything that needed in there. So that way the driver.
You'll see the notification here at the top of BrokerPro as well. It will instantly tell you the message was received here as well. And if I go over here to the load tab, like I was showing you before, this will turn orange. And I can see, any kind of links or anything that he sends as far as through the text thread directly through here.
Nice. Makes it just super easy. Okay, so what do you got up your sleeve next, Forrest? What do you think we should try?
I say send over a proof of delivery. Let's show them how efficient it is to receive a POD through TextLocate.
Okay. You want to make a request to me?
I think I can, but I don't think that we have like the automatic one set up through the demo server like that yet. At least in demo. On production, I think we do.
Perfect. So you just do it like the custom message. So you can just do a custom.
Yeah.
And so we do have automation in there, like as the load's delivered, you could request these PODs. So
it's automatic.
Again, super easy. Hey, send POD. You can see how fast this is coming. So I'm in Chattanooga. These guys are at where's headquarters again? What's
Decatur, Alabama.
Decatur. They're in Decatur. Obviously, this stuff's coming through really quick. So I'm going to go in here and let's find me a proof of delivery. All right. So essentially, the driver, again, simplistic. So let's just say this was, my notepad and it was a proof of delivery. I just take a snapshot of the POD. And so here I'm going to send over a little TextLocate image over. But it's literally as easy as the driver just takes a picture. So, and again, it doesn't have to be POD. I mean, as you know, there's so many more use cases, out there instead of POD. Like we're seeing images, things are coming back like crazy, asking for, pictures of the driver, pictures of their ID, pictures of like the MC number. Like we're getting people that are like taking selfie, asking the driver to take a selfie with the MC number on the back of on the side of the truck for proof that it's real. We have a lot of things like pictures of seals, confirming pictures of reefer temps. So again, it's just like anything that you and I would ask each other and over text, can send it back. And here's the message that Forrest had actually you sent over with the POD. He says, thank you for driving with us. If you have a POD, please send it to us. Respond to this picture for load number 1501, Chattanooga, Tennessee to Nashville. So again, easy. The driver, like instead of you calling, hey, can you send me that POD? Well, where do I send it? Oh, we'll email it to XYZ or whatever. So here's the example of where it comes back, because with the driver, they're not going to have a place to make notes and to write down the email addresses and all that. So how do we make it simple? Via, just image capture and send it right back. So it just makes it super, super simple.
Yeah, and so TextLocate takes it one step further as well compared to most tracking integrations. Not only can you receive it like that, but it will also automatically upload within the Documents tab within BrokerPro, and it will show the label of whatever the image type is that they send over here. So I have this one to automatically be set up as a proof of delivery. So whenever you send over that image, it took the image, it uploaded it directly to the Documents tab within the load. And then if I needed to see the image, I could either go to the TextLocate button like I showed you guys before, or I can just hit Open Document here, and then it will just open it directly on your computer like this as well.
Another feature that we recently rolled out is around the phone numbers as well. So when you make the request to the driver, it'll actually hit our system and it will look for to make sure that it's a mobile phone number versus a voice over IP. And then we have email alerts built in TextLocate as well. So if, for example, let's say Forrest, instead of sending that to my mobile number, he sent it to like a voice over IP number or whatever, it would actually send an email to your group, one of your reps, or to your, you can have a group inbox on there as well. And when it sends that over, it's going to immediately let them know, hey, this isn't a voice over IP number. You need to take action on it. It doesn't mean it's fraud. It just is suspicious. Like, why would a driver have a voice over IP number? It's very rare for that to occur. So it gives you a way, either maybe you don't have the driver's info correctly, maybe it's a dispatch number, something as simple as that, and you can actually get the mobile number so that we can do the communication and the tracking and the image capture. Or it could be potential fraud risk. So you could have one where we get feedback from customers every day that will say, hey, I avoided a potential claim because I started digging in and asking additional questions and found that the more I dug, the more the story didn't line up. And so that's been very effective as well. But the fact that all of this data between the two-way chat and the locations and the PODs are all flowing into one central location is what I think is really special with that tight integration.
For sure, and it just increases efficiency to the ninth degree. So I just love how efficient it is. Most of our customers just, the feedback that I've received when dealing with their carriers is they just love the simplicity of the fact that you don't have to download an additional app. Most of these carriers have 4 or 5 different tracking integrations, so they really appreciate the ability to be able to just click a link, have the tracking. It flows really easily. You don't have to be very tech savvy to make it happen as well. And then we have some increased efficiency within BrokerPro as well. Like, not only can you start the tracking directly within the load, like I showed you guys, but you can also start all of our tracking integrations directly from the load list too. So we try to take it a step further here. So you can you can literally just hover over the load you want to start and select the tracking integration and just start the tracking directly from here as well. So just efficiency.
And that's where you can do more than one load at a time, right? They can kind of check the boxes.
Yep.
So that way it's an extra, a simple lift. And again, it just goes out each time. If you want to flip back to that screen. And then I noticed let's make sure, I think we hit it, but I think there was a question about when the driver sends a POD, does automatically save the documents file? So it does. You want to show that one more time just to make sure everybody saw that
Yeah.
where it's in the documents?
Yeah, for sure. So I just went back to that load that he sent over. So you can see through here that he sent over the image, but you'll notice that we have the documents tab here. So if I click on the documents tab, this is actually the proof of delivery that he sent. So you'll see here, it just automatically uploads that image, associates it as a proof of delivery. And then I can either open it directly from here or download it, directly on my computer like that as well, which right now, for some reason, his computer doesn't support JPEG. But so you can open up any image directly from here as well, and it will just open up in a different tab for you.
Nice. So yeah, so and that would be additional pictures. So if I kept sending pictures, they were going to go here, right, Forrest?
Yes, sir.
So that way you can ask for those additional items, and that way it's tied to the load. That's a unique thing that we have designed at TextLocate is tying the conversations around load ID. So in order to have a conversation with a driver, you have to have two pieces of information. You've got to have a load ID, and you have to have a driver phone number. So that way, when the data is coming back, the information is we tie it to that load ID. That way, you're not trying to remember what conversation did you have with who, when. And it actually ties around that load ID because we heard a lot as we were building TextLocate where, hey, I've got all these different systems I use, or Ryan, you and Forrest are texting from your personal devices, so you can't really, can't really remember. Okay, did Ryan or Forrest, whoever's doing it, did they actually put in the phone number? Did they associate a name with it? How am I supposed to tie this conversation back? And that's how we do it all via load ID.
Yes, sir. Say to answer Matt's question as well. Say, yeah, they can send over the freight bill as well. Inside the load, it wouldn't, put it up here inside the invoice column like this, the date received and date due, but it would associate it with the load and it would upload to the documents tab for you automatically. So maybe in the future we could do that. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, if not, at least you got it all in one place. I mean, it
Yep.
could be that we could route those, but at least they're all in one spot. Anything regarding that load, which we're seeing things like, unfortunately, it happens, claims and things like that, where you could say, hey, there could be a claim or shortage or something like that. Ask the driver to take some pictures. We see a lot of people using the image capture around detention because you could actually say, hey, I'm experiencing a detention issue. Well, the best way to get paid for detention is proof, right? So what's better proof than a picture? Have a driver put a selfie sitting on the dock with a time date stamp. I mean, that's where you can really get compensated appropriately for detention is around with the images. I think we talked about reefer, we talked about seals, flatbed, and heavy haul. A lot of times people request and would like to have pictures of all four sides of like the flatbed, the tarping, to say, hey, when I picked it up, here's kind of how we had it strapped and everything. You can make those requests. And again, they're just images. So that driver fires them, sends them right back to you. Again, it's all by that load ID. So if you have to pull anything up or go back to the records, you're not chasing down emails, trying to figure that out. You're not trying to chase down text messages on your phone, trying to search for those that you can't find the details. It's all showing, they're correctly identified by the load ID. We're also seeing people are using this to also communicate with some of your go-to drivers about covered loads. Get in here, put the number in, text them out a message and ask them, hey, you interested in another load moving from, in this case, Chattanooga to Nashville? I got 2 more coming up in 2 days. Things like that. I mean, again, it's just like use the simple method of, hey, if I'm just texting a friend of mine, what am I asking? And what I would say is, don't be robotic with it, be natural with it. Just if it's misspelled just a little or something happens, don't worry about it. It's kind of text. You want it to feel real and authentic with the drivers. You could be just asking if they're, when they're coming back on the road for home time and ask them what time are they going to be available for that pickup. Again, you could also we see a lot of people like reminders. So if you have customer requirements, you could copy and paste those customer requirements in and send that over. One I like to use, just because I feel like it's famous, is the Home Depot. Like if you were delivering a load for Home Depot or to Home Depot and they say, hey, when your driver shows up, tell them to make sure we have their Home Depot vest on. You can text that to the driver and be like, hey, when you arrive, they're expecting, make sure you have your Home Depot vest on. Or if it's, it could be, we see directions a lot of time as well. Like, hey, the truck entrance is off of this street. And you want to remind them because maybe their navigation goes to the wrong place. You could do that as well. It's just, it's kind of endless amount of opportunity to communicate with the drivers. How about we'd love to have some more questions. You got anybody else out there? Looks like we got quite a few people in the session. You got any other questions in there? Throw them out at us. Try to check and see, make sure we don't miss one.
Well, I think you were asking about pricing from our end like that. Say, yeah, say you would just enable it, Matt. Say, if you give me a call this afternoon, I'll give you a rundown. But say, I think the first step would be to reach out to TextLocate so they could help you out. Say, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you guys still do a 2-week free trial on your guys' end, and say, we can do that as well on our end to let you guys at least try it out.
Yeah, we do that in the kind of part of this integration and the partnership. So yeah, all you would have to do is reach out. It's pretty easy. Just hit our website and you can actually go in and book an appointment there. I think that is right on the main front screen. Yeah, it just says get demo. So if you just go to textlocate.com and click get demo, it'll actually right there. Yeah, if you want to pull it up for us, that'd be great. And as soon as like literally you can actually even create your own account really quick. And then when you get the demo and we go through the details, you could actually, we've got a account with just a few pings for you to kind of play with. But if you click here, then it'll set up time with one of our sales team members, and then they can go through all the details, how it works. You can literally get this thing activated within just a minute or two. You can sign in. It's just like you imagine the subscriptions online. You sign in, set up your account. The guys would actually, our team members would actually set it up for the BrokerPro, and then we could actually get you API keys, and you can. I'm pretty sure, Forrest, can't they just copy and paste those keys in now?
Yeah, so they copy paste it,
Okay.
or you can forward me over the email. Inside of BrokerPro, there's a section under Manage Integrations. You basically just go to the wrench in the top right-hand corner, and we have a Manage Integration section. Let me discard these changes. But you'll notice that we have an option when you turn on TextLocate, one for TextLocate in particular. And so you would just select that, and this is where you would paste in those keys.
And it's literally right off our website. So once you've activated your system, you can go here and all you do is copy the public key and the private key into those boxes, hit connect. And I mean, it connects within like a second or two, whatever it is. It's super, super fast. And then it's enabled, and then everything will pop up. I think I'm speaking correctly with that.
No, you're 100% right. Yeah, just close correctly.
Yeah, once they save it,
connected, you're good to go.
Yeah, so once you connect, you're active, and you can do all of the things we just talked about immediately. So you could literally get on a call with our guys, set up the system all within, call it 15, 20 minutes. We can have you completely up and running and active. And that's the beauty of having a tight integration and us working together from an API perspective, is because we've been there. We know the tools, we know how software works. We want to make it as simple and easy. So how do we create that? And I mean, this is pretty easy. I mean, it takes literally just moments of your time, and then everything automatically is up and running.
For sure.
Like instant success. It looks like anybody else have any questions? Throw them out there.
Looks like I haven't asked get pricing. How much is it for TextLocate roughly?
Yeah, so we have plans. It just depends on your size. We have plans that go from somebody that's just set up a couple of, has a couple of brokers on their team, all the way up to big plans for super large companies. So it just depends. But I mean, you can start out with a TextLocate plan for $250 a month, and it gives you the connectivity, it gives you the texting, it gives you the fraud alerts, it gives you the images, it gives you the locations, the scheduling, all the things we've described here, and more, and total flexibility through the system. So great question. So as you can see, it's extremely, we've made it very affordable. I mean, my goal, I had worked at some large brokers in the past, and big 3PLs and trucking companies. And when I started TextLocate, I wanted to make sure that, we have price points at every different level. So we've been able to accomplish that. So we have a lot of startups will come to us, and they sign up with BrokerPro, and they're like, hey, this is a simple add-on. So they jump right in and connect the system. So a really good question.
Extremely affordable. Extremely affordable.
Affordable, easy, and simple. So I know I say simple a lot, but that was the beauty of it. Drivers are, they've got a really hard job, and they're on the road every day. they're tired, they're hungry, they don't have access to restrooms, things like that. Like it's a tough job. So my whole goal has been to 100% work this and build and design the product so the driver responses are really good, very simple, very easy. Question you haven't asked is, can the drivers opt out? The drivers do have opt out ability. So if for some reason they didn't want to, they do have that ability to stop a message or whatever. The cool thing is what we've actually found is that is a very, very, very small percentage, less than half a percent of the people actually would do that. And I think some just get kind of annoyed in certain situations. But what we have found is because these transactions are B2B, so from the broker to the small business owner to the driver, it's very simple and straightforward. Like you're not trying to, I don't know, I get spammed for politics and car warranties and all this stuff. We're not doing any of that. It's all via like straight, specific, to the point. You're asking about what's going on with the load, while they're specifically, in transit with that or whatever. The other thing is it's very safe because they don't have to respond to those texts immediately. They can respond when it's safe and appropriate for them. They can also voice text back through the system. They can hit the little button on their phone to voice text as well. Josh, I think did you have a question, or I don't know, something lit up, but I don't know what that meant.
See, there is a question from Kevin. As someone who is, or
Oh,
a statement, as someone who has used MacroPoint extensively, this is not only better, but considerably cheaper. So I think, thanks for that, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you. Obviously, really appreciate that. And it's been to be a little bit different style. Again, we have a lot of customers that do use the apps out there as well, but ours is kind of, again, meet the driver where they want to use the app. So we try to focus our efforts more on what drivers want and listening to from a driver perspective, instead of feeling like the stick carrot rule. Instead of feeling like a stick of you've got to use this, it's kind of the carrot of, hey, this is so much easier. So we've gotten a lot of really good feedback from drivers that, hey, this is simple and very straightforward. So thanks for that, sharing it, Kevin. And Forrest, kind of from what you've seen, I mean, the past few integrations we've done pretty quickly. Everything's run smooth. It's really fast and super quick. So I guess from a support perspective, it's pretty low. I always look at products and be like, hey, what's my support availability? It's low support, but here's the thing about it is like these guys take care of you. I mean, you pick up the phone, you call, you text, you email or whatever. They're just right there on the spot to help you. My first hire when building the business was somebody for the support side of the business, because I was like, hey, this is great, but if I sell a product, it's good, but how am I going to support it? And it's not just about sales; it's about a customer service experience. So we're very accessible. All of our information is on our website. We share our personal cell phones with people. Like you can literally find us if you have. That could be if you have questions, if you have a support issue, or if hey, how does this work, or what do I do next? What's cool is inside of TextLocate, we actually have a feedback button. You just click it, and we actually all get those messages. Our team does, and somebody's jumping on those extremely quick. If it's something that you're like, hey, here's or how to. We also have with your TextLocate account, we're going to also have all kind of training docs available. So if you want to look through it, we've kind of build a presentation slide deck that goes through each screen and be like, here's where you go to do this and that. The nice thing is you saw how like with Forrest was doing it. You got to get comfortable. Hey, where's the buttons on here? But once you do it like once or twice, it's intuitive. The point in the way that they designed it was to make it super easy. That's the way our UI experience is as well. And how do I make it so that I don't really quote have to be trained on this? I can go over and click and start working on it. And we all know how to use text, so it's just like texting from your computer right to their phone. So that makes it, even easier to get up and running immediately. Which I don't know. I mean, Forrest, what have you seen with support or questions on your side? Has there been much?
There really hasn't been much for TextLocate, to be honest with you. I feel like it's just really intuitive. It's really easy to use. It's easy to set up a load. There's really not much manual work to it. So outside of just missing a pickup time, for example, or something like that, there's really not much I hear about from TextLocate outside just the initial onboarding and plugging in, the credentials to the account. Outside of that, I really don't get calls about it as far as support goes. It's always usually good things if I do hear something about TextLocate, right?
That is a good thing. Well, this is, I don't think we have any other questions coming in. So number one, appreciate everybody that joined and listened. Thank you very much for your time. We're very interested in sharing more on, how we integrate together. Any questions, again, we can get your account set up quickly. So why not take a chance and try it out? But thanks for the time. I don't know, Josh, if you have anything else to add but I feel like we covered everything.
I think we've covered everything. So thank you, Ryan. This has been great, Forrest. Thanks. This is, like I said, everybody, this is one of those integrations that just works. Very quick to set up, very quick to get value out of it, and we hope that you take Kevin's word.
Yeah.
Like Ryan said, take a chance on it. It's free trial on both sides, and you can see it in action very quickly. So if you have any questions, as always, email me, josh@brokerpro.com, or forrest@brokerpro.com, and we'll get back with you very quickly. So again, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. And I will send out an update once we have this recording processed and all that good stuff, and let you know what our next customer webinar will be in 2 weeks. So thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Appreciate it.
Have a good rest of your day.